Okay, I'm super excited about this topic. I think it's going to be super helpful. I even for myself, this Convo flow has helped a ton because you have someone that's interested in Plexus. Either they message you or you message them. They're like, yeah, share more. Or they commented on a post and they're interested and you're super excited. But then like, now what? Okay, what do I say? You don't want to just puke Plexus on them as far as like tons of info, overwhelm them because that's never a good idea. And it can be sometimes in that excitement of like, yay, someone's interested, we don't always remember like what to do next or what to say next. And so this is super helpful. I created a chart too that I'm going to put along with the recording of this. You'll see it here in a sec on this slideshow. But there is just like the 4 steps that I personally follow when I'm talking with people, and it has helped me a ton with just guiding the conversation. Okay, so top tips for guiding a Plexus conversation. Always make it about them. Keep messages short. Always add a question. You want to keep the conversation going. And so adding in a question as you're chatting back and forth is super helpful for that. So it doesn't just like stop. Empathize, be yourself, like be you. So in this Convo flow, you're going to see like examples of exactly what you can say. But you can tweak the wording to be more like you. If you don't use emojis, like don't use emojis, things like that. And then I always revert back to the Convo flow to help me know what to say next. And you'll see what I mean by that. Okay, so here's the Convo flow, 4 simple steps. Someone's interested, and you're going to see some message examples on these next slides. But this is just like an overview of like 1, 2, 3, 4. I have this graphic set up. I'll put it in the team chat. So you don't have to screenshot unless you want to, but that way it just kind of helps you to remember to stay on track. Just so like, okay, like what do I do first? Second, third, and fourth. And then the next here, I'm going to give you 3 different examples of like real conversations that I've had with people using this Convo flow. So this, friend of mine, and this person signed up the day she messaged me actually. So this is someone I actually reached out to a couple different times. I never heard a response. And then one day last month, out of the blue, I got this message at the top where it says, what is the cost of the drink you share? And I was like, oh my goodness. And so with that kind of question, I think sometimes it's hard to always know exactly what to say. You're like, do I give them all the prices? Like, what do I say? And so these examples are to show you how I guide conversations in 3 different scenarios. With the Convo flow chart as like a guide, and it's not always going to be exactly what it is because it depends on like how that conversation starts. And this friend was like, what is the cost? And so she asked specifically about the drink. And so I gave her the cost of the drink. But I know that like they're going to have better results with the combo. And so that's why I added in, you get extra discounts when you get a health combo. And then I reverted back to the Convo flow, which the very first thing is you want to know their health goals. And so I said, okay, well, how's you curious to try this? Anything on this chart? And her next thing was, I want to order some, please. So she didn't even answer my question. And so I said, okay, excited for you to try it. What are you hoping it helps with? So right there, like I reverted back to the Convo flow because I'm going back. I need to know her health goals so I can best help her and support her. And so then she answers literally everything on that list. Bless her heart. She's on it. She's been on it for 3 weeks though, and she's loving it. It's so fun, so exciting. But anyway, okay. So then the next step in the Convo flow is to share testimonials. Well, let me go back really quick so first thing is you're sending the gut health chart. Yeah. The second thing is you're going to empathize, be relatable, go find 4 stories. I do 4 stories. You can do 3, you can do 5. I mean, I usually do 4. I just think that's like a good number to give them a good variety of different people. And so you'll see here how I send the stories. I screenshot, and if it's a super long story, I do not do it because it's like 4 screenshots, like so too many. And so I only do them if it's 2 or 3 screenshots, and that's like my own rule. You don't have to stick to that, but that's what I do because I want it to be like less is more type thing. And so I will screenshot them and I will send them over in the order. I don't just send them all at once. You know how you can send like 10 pictures in Messenger at once? I don't do that. Like I'll send the first testimonial, send, second one, send, third one, send, fourth one, all in order. And I really like to get before and afters attached to the testimonial if weight is one of their struggles. And almost every single time weight is one of the ones that people will mention. Because I think that visual is just like, helps, like it's like the stories, facts tell, stories sell. Sharing stories that they can relate to is like my biggest tip in talking with someone. Is so important. And you don't always have to screenshot. You can also add them to the stories page, and you're going to see another example of how I did that in example 2 or 3 here in a sec. But I sent her the stories, and then she messaged me before I could get them all sent. But ideally you send them all in a row, and then you ask the question, like, can you relate to any of these? But she didn't give me time to do that. So, because she said, all of these sound like me. So I already knew, okay, yes, you can relate to them. And so then I went to the next step of sharing products, and I shared a breakdown of it. And then I ended with that question, which is, my thing is blocking it. Let me move this so I can see it. If you guys probably can, but oh well. Anyway, the question is like, what option looks best for you? Or what option do you like best? And what questions do you have for me? And she ordered and signed up that day. That doesn't always happen. And you're going to see some other examples of where it doesn't happen. Okay. Example number 2. This is a friend who commented on a post, and it was like, I think it was like a sale post or something. And I had put testimonials in the comments that grabbed her attention. And so she commented on the post, and I messaged her. And I had never talked to her before, ever. Even outside, like never. She was just a friend we had connected in a Facebook group. And so this is how I started it off, because she said she wanted information. And I said, what has you curious to try this? I didn't send her the chart in this one, and I don't remember why. I think this was before I like got my Convo flow together, but it still asked like her health goals and her struggles. But I would put the chart here from now on, because I have found that it works better. And then she shared with me, I didn't put all of her message, but she shared with me like her health goals. And then what I did is instead of sending her screenshots, I actually added her to the stories page, and I let her know. I sent her the group link. I said, can you join this page? And so I can tag you. And then once she said she joined it, then I tagged her, and then I asked if she saw them. And then I asked if she wanted me to share info on the products that I would recommend for her. So I waited until she saw them. I knew she saw them. And so there's a different, like if you want to add someone to the stories page instead of screenshotting, you totally can. And then she signed up soon after that. And then the third example, it's someone who won my happy spring post. This person has not signed up yet, but we've gotten through the Convo flow to a point. And so I wanted to share an example of it. So you can see, like, I shared the chart. She said almost everything on there. And so then I'm empathizing, like, mom life is the best, but it will do a number on your health. Emojis, totally relate. Have you heard of Plexus before? So excited for you to see how much better this helps you feel. And then she said, I've heard of it, but not much, etc. Now if I could go back and redo this conversation, I would have sent the triplex video after I said, have you heard of Plexus before? And she said, I've heard of it, but not much, because I totally forgot to send her the triplex video. So it happens, like, we're going to live and learn. We're all getting better in this skill. And I'm not perfect in it. And so looking back through that, when I was going through to find screenshots for this slideshow, I was like, I should have sent her the triplex video. And I have sent it to her in a follow-up, because she still hasn't signed up yet. So then I found stories, sent them over, asked if she could relate to them. She said, definitely. I asked her if she wanted to see a breakdown, and I haven't heard back from her. And so this is someone who's now in my follow-up list, and I'm going to follow up, and either I'm going to send her another testimonial to see that she can relate to, or I'm going to, like yesterday, I sent her a triplex video. And I told her, I was like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot to share this video with you. I'm going to check back in tomorrow and see, what you thought. I'm so excited for you to see how much better this helps you feel, etc. Like a follow up. And so those are 3 different examples of using the Convo flow. And you can kind of see like, it's not like exactly the same every single time, because like, we're real people. Like we want to be us. We want to relate to them, or either relate to them or empathize. And be personable. And so it's not going to always look the same, especially depending on like questions they ask and things like that. But it can help you to know like, okay, if you haven't sent stories yet, like I've had someone who they said what they were struggling with on the chart. And then they're like, okay, what's the cost? And I was like, oh, we can totally get to the cost. That depends on what combo that you go with. I actually wanted to share some stories with you along those lines. One sec, let me grab them. And so I like reverted back to the order of the combo folk, because the next step after sending the gut health chart is stories, because that is super important before price, because we want them to see how it can help them before they see the price, so that they're more willing to invest in themselves and pay the money, because they know it can help them because they've seen the stories. And so that's why it's really important. And it can just help you in knowing how to guide that conversation. And then, yeah, the last thing, like you get better the more you do something. So the more you practice this, the better you get. You live and learn, like I did with, like, I totally forgot to send her the Dropbox video. And so it's sometimes we get excited and we're busy or whatever, and we're trying to like multitask sometimes, which is not necessarily a good thing when you're doing that, but it happens, mom life. And sometimes we miss a step, but like the more we do it, the better we'll get at it. If you avoid failure, you avoid success. And so it's going to happen. Like we fail. It's just part of success. I just posted that quote on the team page yesterday that said, success is just going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Because like you're like, that's normal. If you're failing, like that's a good thing, because that means you're doing something, you're in action that is getting you that failure, which means the more you are staying in action, the better you're going to get at it. And you're going to see that success you're going for. And so that's it. Super simple. That's the Convo flow. I hope that helps. 1 second. I will answer any questions you'll have.